Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Pick Up the Truth. I hope everyone's doing well this evening. Now, on screen, you're going to see a picture of someone doing mechanic work as a professional mechanic, and that would be my position. It's the one I've chosen to perform in the time they enslaved me in, so I can receive the money to pay for the goods that they've stolen from me. And to be honest, guys, I'm just so tired. I'm tired of living in the lie and trying to teach the truth at the same time. I feel like I'm a hypocrite but I know I'm not, you know. But does it make us worse if we know what our position does, and we know how it affects people, and we know how it continues to feed the system? I mean, I teach whoever comes to my channel truth, and how to free your mind from the things that program it, so you can naturally be who you were created to be. And but I'm also forced to work a position in the time they created to schedule my life in. We all have to do it, unless you have a disability or you're handicapped or in some way or another. Then the system will allow you to barely get by on what they pay you. But I'm so tired of living in the lie. I mean, I look at what I do. Like, for instance, let me explain to you what I do first. I'm a mobile mechanic, and when people call me and request my services, then I'll schedule an appointment and I'll diagnose their vehicle, see what's wrong with it, and repair it if I can. And then we'll set up a way to, get parts for it, and I'll tell them how much the labor will be to install those parts and get their vehicle up and running again. Now, sounds innocent enough, but when you know truth, you know it's much deeper than that, because I know that I'm helping that person get in the car that runs, so he or she can go to the corporation that they're enslaved in as well, at their position, at their job. And also, their vehicle gets them around to the corporations that cycle the money that they're enslaved with. So yes, I know I know that if I fix that person's car, I'm making it easier for them to feed the system that enslaves them. and also feed the system that enslaves me as well. You know, that's what we're doing. We cycle the money to feed the system that they created to enslave us. So, am I worse for continuing to do this than the person that doesn't know what they're living in? Because I know what the truth is, but yet I still do it to survive in this system that enslaves me and schedules my life in it. I mean, my life's scheduled in the calendar they created as well, and I also have bills scheduled on that calendar, just like it was meant to be. The bills that routinely show up every month and keep the money cycling that they enslaved me with, all for the resources that they've stolen from me. So yeah. And I mean, this is for any position as well. I mean, any position in this world. I mean, if you're getting paid the money that enslaves you, so you can continue to cycle it in a never-ending cycle until the day you die, I mean, you're enslaved as well. It doesn't matter what your position is. So, you could be a doctor, you could be a nurse, you could be an actor or an actress. I'm not saying all, but there are some actors, actresses, and models that are just people trying to get by in this world to make a living. You know? Sure, they're programmed to do the bidding of the world that enslaves them, just like I am. You know, I help repair the vehicles that the people get in to keep feeding the system that enslaves all of us. And the actors will get on screen, the ones that don't know any better, and they'll play their part to deceive the people on how to believe in the life you're programmed to believe in. They'll program you to believe in those jobs, the everyday life you're scheduled to live. They'll make you believe in them because they believe in them. We all believed in them until we learn truth. Then it makes it so much harder, right? I mean, I don't want to continue feeding the system that enslaves me. I don't want to continue feeding the system that enslaves the brothers and sisters that I love out there. I mean, it makes me feel bad. It makes me feel like I'm doing something wrong. And I don't like that feeling. I don't want to. I won't truly be happy until I stop participating in this society, this unnatural society that enslaves me and the people I love, and all you lovely brothers and sisters out there. And don't get me wrong, you know, my life as a mechanic is not as routine as another position would be if you work 9 to 5. I never know what time I'm going to do a job. I never know what that job's going to be. I never know what person I'm going to meet. I meet all kinds of people, and that's the best part about this job. I try to focus on the people in creation. Meeting new people, meeting new brothers and sisters, getting a chance to talk to them about truth, and not really paying attention to what I'm really doing. What I'm really there to do is to fix their vehicles so they can continue to cycle the money that they're enslaved with. Yeah, I'm not thinking about that. I'm trying to do the best job I can for the brother or sister that needs my help. And I'm going to do it for the lowest price I can possibly do it for. I'm here to help my brothers and sisters out there in creation. I understand. Just last week, I had a customer call me, and this was a brother that was from New York, and he called me and he asked me, he explained to me he had a problem with his rack and pinion, that the salt on the road in New York had rusted a hole through one of his hydraulic lines on his rack and pinion. And that's, for anybody that doesn't know what a rack and pinion on a car is, that's what controls your steering, your power steering. So if your power steering hydraulic hose has a leak in it, it will leak out all the fluid and make your power steering extremely hard. Your steering wheel will be hard to turn. So I explained to the gentleman that there's a couple different options. And first he told me he was working through a charitable organization called St. Paul de Vincent Catholic Church, and that's one of the Catholic organizations and Christian organizations that I sometimes work with to through their charitable work or department, you know. And yes, St. Paul de Vincent is an organization throughout this country that helps in a lot of different states. Catholic organization, Catholic Church. And yes, it is a church that divides, and yes, they are a church that do perverted things, but there's also real people that believe in the God of those churches, believe in what they're doing is good for the people. There are real people that work in those organizations that have a good heart and honestly try to help people that call and ask for help. So I'm not thinking of me helping that church. I'm thinking about me helping that person that had enough compassion to help uh, somebody in need. So he told me about the St. Paul de Vincent organization. I knew about it, and I'm like, okay, I didn't think anything strange about it. But then this gentleman told me that oh, don't worry about the cost. You can charge them however much you want, And he was trying to tell me you can even go a couple $100 over it, because the rack and pinion would cost $400 as a part, and it would cost probably another $200 in labor to install it. So you're looking at around $600 or so. And even if you just wanted to go ahead and replace the line, the cost of getting somebody there and the cost of a brand new line from the factory would cost around, and you're probably looking at around $200. But he was telling me to overcharge him, and I flat out told him, because this guy is a new customer of mine and he doesn't realize how I operate. So I told him right up front I couldn't see myself taking the job, because he's asking me, right off the bat, to be dishonest to somebody who's honestly trying to help him. And I can't do that. That goes against who I am, and I will not do it. And I told him that. He got offended at first. I know he wanted to hang up on me, but I told him, well, I have no problem helping you out, as long as we can be honest with the organization that's trying to help you out. And he was a little offended at first, but we got over it, and then he started to be nice again, because there's not very many mechanics that are willing to work with people and try to help them out. A lot of mechanics in my field that they're cutthroat, and they want to try to get in and out and do the fastest job, not so thoroughly, and just take your money. But I told him, I said, I can go down to the salvage yard and get you a line off a vehicle that's the same as yours, and you won't have to pay that much money for it. Talking maybe $20 for the line that's the same as yours. All I have to do is unscrew it, take it off that vehicle, unscrew yours, and put it on. And you're not going to get very many people trying to go the extra mile to save you money. And that's what I'm all about. I go the extra mile to help people. It makes me feel better about the life I'm forced to live in this world. And I went out in the salvage yard in the hot Florida sun for this fella, which I had no problems doing, because I do it for all kinds of people, no matter what you're programmed to be in this world. Whether you're deceived to be a rich person, they program you to be a middle class person, they program you to be, or poor person, they program you to be. We're all deceived. We all divide ourselves by the things they give us to divide ourselves with. but I'm not. I try to stay away from the division. That's the best I can do for now. What I want to do is leave this society, unnatural system that I was born in. What I want to do is just tell them I object to the world I was born in. I do not give you authority to steal what was created for you, for me, and you. I do not give them authority to dictate to me what I'm going to be in the life that was given to me. But we do that all the time, right, folks? We accept their system that limits our ability to really be what we want to be, right? I mean, they restrict everything in our lives. Tell us what we can do, what we can't do. We try to make the best of it. But it just doesn't work. I just want to drop everything I own. Everything I own, and just walk away from everything. I'm so tired of living in the lie. Tired. I'm tired of walking out and seeing my brothers and sisters worse than they were a couple months ago. It's crazy how this place is getting, folks. Every day it gets worse. I see everybody in masks, and then they're scared of you if you get close. They jump back. One thing I have to say, though, I mean, when I go to a customer's home, they're not usually wearing a mask. But most of the people are still brainwashed and programmed to believe in the world that they were born in, because they'll have the media on listening to every word they tell them. And to be honest, one of the counties that I service as a mechanic, they went to mandatory masks, and so far I've done a few jobs over there, but I've never been asked to wear a mask, and if I'm ever going to be asked to wear a mask, I will refuse, and I will tell them, you do not have authority over me to tell me what I can or cannot do. I was born on the land that was created for me. I denounce my citizenship of an American if I have to. They can have all the things that makes all the slaves comfortable in this nation. I just want the land that was created for me. I want the land that was created for me. I want the resources that were created for me. I don't care how much work I have to do on that land. I don't care how much work I have to do to feed off the natural resources that were created for me. I'll do it. I'll do anything to get away from this society that programs my brothers and sisters' minds to be enslaved. Hell, I'd just be happy to live in a community that doesn't have anybody wearing masks. Please give me a community that's not afraid to get next to their brother and sister. Maybe accidentally brush up against them. Don't be scared. Don't be scared. I'd like to live in a society that doesn't let themselves be programmed by fear. Hell, I'd just be happy to walk in the woods and live with the squirrels at this point. I'll help the animals out in nature. I love the animals. The animals, at least they have free will. At least they eat from the land that was created for them. You want to get close to creation, go visit with the animals out in creation. Listen to them, they're talking to you. They're talking to you. They're trying to tell you that they're trying to tell you to be free. They're trying to tell you they love you. Come back home. Come back home and help us live. That's what they're trying to tell us. You know, I get along better with animals than I do people nowadays. Well, I still get along with people, but I can see everything a person is programmed by in their life. I can. And I don't judge people. You can be programmed and you can serve the program that you're brainwashed by. Most of us do without even knowing it. That's what these jobs are. That's what they do. These jobs, they pay us for doing a job well done, but we're only buying back the resources that were stolen from us. And we're only cycling the money we're enslaved by. Oh, what a never-ending cycle. The worst part is that damn yearly calendar, right? It never ends. That damn yearly calendar. It's there with us. We have to tear the pages out of that motherfucker every month. But what do you see when you tear that old page off the calendar? A brand new set of scheduled holidays and birthdays that you fucking have to go out and cycle the money you're enslaved with. And not only that, you see a brand new month of bills that you have to schedule to pay in your life with the money that they make you cycle. I mean, wow, people. Wow. And you know, I know there's a lot of you out there that just want to say, wow. You know, you hear me say shit like this and you're like, it hurts too much. You're full of shit. I can't believe that. It just hurts too much. And it just sounds so depressing, but it's not a joke, guys. It's what's really happening to us. And we don't have to be aware of it to participate But my question is, when you're aware of it and you still have to do it to survive, does that make you a good person or a bad person? I don't know. In my case, it just might make me lazy, because I know I have to start living off the plants and the natural things in nature. I know I have to stop eating the food that they supply me in the grocery stores. I know I have to start figuring out those things in nature that help me the most. I'd like to start figuring out the medicinal things that help me in nature, and the things that I'm able to eat and supply me protein and hydration and vitamins and nutrients. That's the only true way we can get away from this unnatural system that enslaves us. It's the only way I see out. It's the only way I see out. You know? They give us this yearly, monthly, weekly, daily routine. I mean, all the time. Go to work. You know, you may not be lucky enough to have a job like mine to where it's not so mundane, not so routine, but there's a lot of you out there that go to work at the same time every day. Go to work on an assembly line and do the same routine, mundane work that you're enslaved to do to make a product that you're programmed to buy, or other brothers and sisters are programmed to buy. And trust me, I've done jobs on an assembly line like that, and it's enough to drive you mad. Especially when you do it for year after year. The routine life you're scheduled to live, and on top of that, you're programmed to come home and clean your house and do your dishes and make yourself food and buy the things that they program you to like and to buy with the money they keep you cycling. But we keep celebrating everybody's birthday year after year, cycling the money, buying them presents, buying party favors and birthday cakes and ice cream, everything they programmed you to do on that routine yearly day. And we're also programmed to do it for our children and our grandchildren, and so on and so on and so on. You know, truth can sound depressing, but it's not actually truth that's the depressing part. It's the world they enslave us to live in is the depressing part. And how long are we going to continue putting up with it and living in it, even though we know truth? I don't know. To be honest with you, brothers and sisters, I have a piece of shit vehicle that runs like a top because I'm a mechanic. It runs like it just came off the showroom floor. But it it doesn't matter. I'm ready to give that thing up at a moment's notice, just to live in the free will of nature, to live with other people that know truth. You're able to talk truthfully with about truth, and they understand what you're saying. Many of us that know truth nowadays, you either sit with your spouse at the end of the day, or you sit with the one you love or share your life with at the end of the day, and they might not know truth, and then they start talking about the job they're enslaved in, and then they start complaining about it and what they had to do in that job and that time they're enslaved in, and then you try to explain to them it's just a position they enslave you in. Just don't pay attention to that stuff, that the problems you have there. You just go there, make the money that you need to survive with, and go about your business. Don't give that your energy. But those people don't understand that, and they keep talking about the same things every day. They come home and talk about the job that they're enslaved in, what the people they work with did to them, or, it's the same routine. Same routine, folks. And it's the same thing. I mean, it might not be about your job you're talking to somebody with. They might start talking about television shows they're programmed by, what they've heard on the news that they got programmed by. What happened at the church that they're brainwashed by, the religion that divides them. What happened on the news the other night, maybe a psyop that they want to talk to you about that you already know is bullshit. But every day we have to hear this from our loved ones that continue to live in the world, the routine world that they're programmed to live in. But they come to you pretty much all the time with the same damned programmed response, because they also live and are programmed by this world, by what they do in this world, but they don't realize it. I'm not a big person. I'm not a person that I don't believe in righteousness, is what I'm trying to say. I know there's a lot of people that disagree on my views with the God and Satan that they program us to believe with, but that's where they get us to judge one another. We're all just as enslaved as another one. Doesn't matter how much money or how good you think your life is. They have the fanciest cars, the fanciest house. You could have the most money on the block. It just means that you're further away from truth than anybody else is ever going to be. because you have too many distractions in your way. You have to overcome so many things to find truth when you have a life that's good in this world. Just because we're programmed to be a actor, be a mechanic, be a football player, be a basketball player, a baseball player, be any position they programmed us to be. We're still enslaved in the system we feed every day. I don't know how much longer I can take of this, folks. Really, I don't. Love you guys. Take care of yourself out there.